Hey guys, Jacqueline Fernandez here at the Alert Center. We do have some breaking news that we'd like to tell you about today. This is a story that we are currently covering right now. We are trying to get the latest details for you, so bear with me while I go over some of these details for you. But we're doing a story about the Southwest jet from Omaha, Nebraska, attempting to land at Chicago Midway Airport that nearly collided with a private plane on the runway. So this is the story that we're kind of piecing together as we speak. I'm going to have you take a look at this video for us here. Oops, excuse me. We're going to head over to CNN.com. Now, here is the video that they have of this incident that is just kind of showing what is happening there. Let me see if I can get rid of this sound from this commercial. Okay, we're just going to put that on pause while we kind of get this in the right spot here. So at this time, we're trying to figure out a little bit more information, and we do want to know if you happen to know anyone that was on this Southwest flight, right? So let's take this full screen now and give you a better idea of what's going on. We'll listen in.
It's 3-1 Center, very busy airport, huge hub for Southwest Airlines. This is what's called a go-around or an aborted landing. You may have experienced this on a commercial flight. Usually pilots do this when the approach is unstable or there's wind or there's wind shear. In this case, this is called a runway incursion, meaning an airplane on the runway where there shouldn't be. That's the private jet, the Challenger 350 there, taxiing out in front of this flight. The crew artfully of the Southwest flight does a go-around, pitches up, and climbs back into the air to come back around for a successful landing. Obviously, nobody hurt in this, but this is a narrative, just one more example in a narrative of incidents that we have seen since the start of 2023. And the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, has investigated a significant number of these incidents that came within very close, we're talking feet, away from a possible collision. JFK, Austin, Boston, Burbank, the list really goes on. Seems likely that this would end up not only under FAA investigation, but also under NTSB investigation, because the alarm bells have been there for a long time. Why are airplanes able to get so close to each other when air traffic controllers are responsible for keeping the runway safe and clear? There are a lot of factors here, and of course we're still at the very, very early stages of this, so don't want to speculate. Although you have to talk about this while mentioning air traffic controllers are under an incredible amount of stress right now. You have to connect it back to the big story. DOJ is making cuts at the FAA right now, and also FAA controllers just had to essentially justify their jobs with 5 bullet points to Elon Musk. 10,000 of them responsible for controlling the airspace in the national airspace system, and many of them are working mandatory 6-day weeks of 10-hour shifts. We're talking mandatory overtime. The Southwest crew did the right thing here. People ask me all the time, why is there a go-around? This was the right call. You can always go around and fly back into the air and come back around and try another landing. The big question is, why did that private jet enter onto that runway when this passenger jet, this Southwest flight, was moments away from landing? Very scary.
Yeah. All right, guys, so you just saw that report from CNN right here. So we're going to head back over just to a one shot of me just chatting a little bit more about this. So what we do want, we are asking for you to, maybe go through your social media feeds, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram account even. If you see anyone or know of anyone on that flight, or maybe you had a family member on that flight and you were home and are just alerted to this situation right now, then we do want to hear from you. We want to hear from family members. So if you could please give our newsroom a call, that number 402-233-7900. We are here. We are waiting for you to give us a call. So pick up the phone and do so. Again, just as the CNN reporter was mentioning, I mean, just a lot of these, collisions, a lot of near collisions that we've been experiencing. Recently, I believe last week, I did a story from our health desk during our 3 p.m. show, just chatting a little bit about how, this is really having an effect on people's mental health capabilities, of course, right? I mean, if you already have a fear of flying, this is something that is kind of taking the nation by storm and perhaps contributing to that even higher level of fear, unfortunately. What the psychologist was saying is to just kind of give it some deep breaths. This is something that doesn't happen very often, although lately it has just been bombarding the news with information of these near misses and, of course, some of these fatalities that we have seen. So I'm going to actually head back to the website now, CNN.com, and I'm going to kind of go back through this video just to kind of show you give you kind of a recap of like where this near collision took place. So of course the FAA is investigating all of this kind of as we speak. I'm gonna keep that muted if I can, wait for this ad to kind of go away. But yeah, so thankfully the Southwest flight did land safely at the Chicago airport. The flight crew did have to perform that go around. It looks like they utilized a lot of gas to get that go around in place. I'm not an aviation expert by any means, but you could kind of see an extra little oomph of that gas popping out right there on your screen. So I'm going to pause here and try to get back to that exact spot for you if I can. So let's take a look in real quick. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can get this. Oops. That was clearly not the right thing to press. There we go. Okay, so I do have this available on the website. There you go. You can see that kind of extra gas, what appears to be extra gas, to make sure that that flight gets out of the way. So I'm just going to kind of play this for you. Look, you can see that plane right here on the left side of your screen. Yeah, I'll leave that paused. It's not the best image quality at this point, but you get the idea. So at this point, TSA is investigating. We're still trying to figure out, what happened here. And then First Alert 6, of course, we would love to hear from you. So this is, the big story of the day, was a story that we're working on now and reporting to you as breaking news live here from the Alert Center. But please do give us a call, 402-233-7900. That is our newsroom line. If you happen to know anyone who was on this Omaha flight bound to Chicago, the Southwest flight, I do have the number here over my shoulder. Let me just take a look at that. So it is Southwest flight 2504. Thankfully, it did land safely, so that is a huge sigh of relief for many of us today, especially in the Omaha area. Again, the flight crew did perform a go-around to prevent that incident from happening. It happened around 8:50 this morning, local time. This is the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSA, calling this a very close call. Clearly, we remember deadly collisions that we've been reporting on, unfortunately, earlier this year. And something that of note is this situation that did happen about 10 minutes before 9 o'clock as that Southwest flight from Omaha was headed into Chicago. And then this close call happened right here, right? So I'm going to play this out for you, see if you can see. Yeah, so you see the flight just kind of averting that potential hit. So I'm going to head back. I'm trying to show you on repeat just how this happened. So this is that Omaha flight trying to taxi in here in Chicago. And then look on the left side of your screen right here, right? There's that jet coming in. Then you see the pilots averting that potential collision. So of course, this is one of those stories that is a developing story, and we are trying to find out if you have any information or if you know anybody who was on that flight. We're chatting about the Southwest flight 2504. It did land safely in Chicago, but again, just that near miss, right? So I can't imagine if you were on that flight, what your experience is like. Give our newsroom a call, 402-233-7900. We do want to hear from you, or perhaps you're a family member just hearing about this now from First Alert 6. Please do call us, let us know. We'd love to chat with you. Just, what are you thinking? What's going through your head right now? Etc. So again, that newsroom line, 402-233-7900. And of course, we will have much more on this story and several other stories for our broadcast at 3 o'clock with our Dave Zavolinsky. In the interim, again, if you do have more information on this story, we're asking you to call our newsroom, 402-233-7900. I'm Jacqueline Fernandez, signing off for now.